CIA installed narcissists working for the New York Times. Literally get the Fall Fruit Award over and over again, every higher level intel plot to sabotage progressivism and the downtrodden. Like a cat playing with a feather teaser, man. Like, I've learned, like, controlling cats is a lot like controlling narcissists. Like, the victim can't be too big because then it won't give that satisfied feeling of power and getting shit done. Like, the same thing with cats. Like, if you have a toy that's too big, the cat will look at it and be like, that's not gonna make me feel powerful. I could fight it, but I might get hurt and narrowly walk away with my life even if I win. And it's not very so you have to give the cat a small toy, something they know they can kill. To get that, yeah, I'm the biggest cat. I killed the shit out of that moth. Ah, that's like human narcissists. Like, they don't care. Walmart is literally in this country directly responsible for black poverty. Like, they have a whole, like, if you took black poverty as a pie chart and like desperation, Walmart would have a slice of it. Target wouldn't. And they're like, yeah, punch him harder. They said something. It's like, where do you think this destroy Target thing? Do you think it's an organic leftist cause? You don't think that comes from MAGA and the billionaires? Like, Walmart, you're one of our best evil henchmen, man. Like, we're gonna reward you. We're gonna fuck up your one competition, Target. We're gonna put on dummy Prague and we can lead her out by the nose because we're all stupid narcissists by the CIA. And we're gonna be like destroying Target progressive. You can literally look at the data. You don't believe me. Walmart is making outsized profits right now while Target's struggling. You don't think that was all done just to help Walmart? Like, yeah, when we punched him, destroyed him, I feel like, the biggest cat, the strongest cat, the best person. I'm the best column on New York Times. It's like they don't care what's done. They don't care what happened. They care about the top layer, the pat on the head. And that's why the billionaire, the elite, the oppressor, find people like that and put them in places. They put them in the Rolling Stone, they put them in Spin, they put them in the Onion, they put them in the New York Times. Because these people can be led around by the nose and they'll just be like smaller form of Trump. Like, my paper's the best, my column's the best, I'm so good. I have this because I'm very special. And they can be tricked over and over and over. It's just like a cat. Just like me playing with my cat. Like, whoa, look at that. Look at that moth. And they're like, yeah, I'm the biggest cat ever. They don't even think to go after it. They don't even think about the system. They don't think about, like, wait a second. Well, why is the human always near me when I kill this? That's like you people. Like, every time they wheel some shit out to help their goals, oppressing people is bad. Like, that's what all they want you to do. All they want you to do. And they keep bringing out feather teasers for you. And honestly, repackaging the same tricks from the 60s, but in new forms. Now you're getting revenge. You're very special. You're very powerful. You're sitting right next to me as we worship Baphomet. You're a good person. You have everything you have because you believe in equity and equality and progressive values, and that's why you're rewarded. That's why we give you all these things. It's very, very good. They're very, very bad. They're not sending their best. Like, you're the same. Like, you can literally feather tease over and over and over and over again, make things worse and worse and worse for people. And you'll never feel it. Just like Trump won't. Just like Trump is like his narcissism is next level, and that's exactly why the KGB, the CIA, M16, and Mossad were all targeting him because they knew this guy will be the tool. He will be the asset. He could be a slave under our thumb, and he'll feel free. He'll feel powerful. He'll feel the best. You just literally have to, like, give him a pet, and he'll be like, I'm so great. That's all you. Deep down, that's all you, man. The only difference is for you, they have to make it look a little more convincing. You know, they have to make it look like the Onion now competed other papers when it can only have been that way. But you still brag and gloat, even though you damn well know it's so rigged. And showing your complete lack of leadership, your complete lack of interest in really what happens to people. You're bragging about your success when the reason your progressive paper is getting famous at all is things are getting horrible for people. You don't see how you're a form of Trump? You don't see how you have that personality? Like, you're selling a paper based on how horrible things are for people, and you're bragging about your success. Do you think any real human leader does that? Do you think do you think Martin Luther King would get up in front of oppressed black people in the South on his bus ride to be like, I got such a glowing review in the New York Times. The progressives in the North love what I'm doing. They love it. The regressives don't like it. They're the enemies. Do you think that happened? It's completely antithetical to leadership or caring what happens to people, that when you're only getting attention because things are so bad for everybody that you're bragging about your success. Success built on suffering. But you're a narcissist, so you don't see it. You see no connection between you getting what you have and everyone losing. As if Martin Luther King ran his bus rides bragging about himself and then charging for admission like Bernie fucking Sanders and AOC on their tour. You people, I need you to know this. Like, every last one of you installed at Rolling Stone, The Onion, Spin Magazine, you are only there because you're a narcissist and you have no ethics. You have no values. Values are something you post hoc tell yourself to get external validation, praise, and status. You need to know this. You need to know you're an enemy. And you need to know an enemy of the people. You need to know this. The real civil rights leaders, who the agency that put you where you are, all would clock you. That's why they had to kill them, because they had real values. They didn't have a pat on the head. They could not be bought. You can all be bought. You can all be given a pat on the head, and then you'll log the fuck on and brag how successful you are. Midas Touch is #1. We're out competing CNN. You can do that because you really don't care what happens. Pretending to care is something you say to make your image feel real to yourself. That's the difference between you and Trump. Trump's narcissism is the point. He winning. If being told he win, he don't care if it's rigged. You people do care. You're a little bit less narcissistic. You need it to be believable, but you're still primarily narcs that are easy to control, which is why you don't see any conflict with bragging about your success, bragging about how good things are for you, when the only reason is you're gaining this success is the people paying you and installing you are killing people. Imagine if FDR stood up and was like writing about himself when everyone's starving and dying in the Great Depression. You people aren't leaders. You're assets. And I hate to tell you this guy did not change. I don't care if there used to be more white Protestants. That's the problem with you. You see the top layer. They knew that in the 60s. They know their #1 trick is get like somebody who's black, who's poor, and have them fuck things up. You guys don't know that. So you literally see a top layer and you're like, yeah, that we're on the same team. Oh yeah, they're destroying Target. Wow, great. You can't fucking figure shit out because you don't care. It's hard to figure out a problem you don't care about, right? If my image is pretending to care about this problem, but I really don't, I just care about this and sitting on the clouds, then it's real easy to fuck up solving the problem, right? If you actually care about the problem, it's a lot harder to fuck up. If I don't care about something, I do a worse job. Your real values, you make sure never to fuck up. Be on the good graces of people with power and money give you a pound in the head. That's your real values. Everything else is a post hoc justification you tell yourself for your image. Yeah, I know, because you brag about yourself. You brag about your success, and you tell yourself it's because I'm a good boy who's progressive. You are an enemy of the people, and all the real civil rights leaders would clock you as such, because they actually cared, so they actually tried hard to solve the problem. Oh, they're recruiting people who seem like me and my values, but they're just saboteurs. You can't figure that out because you don't care. Just like a cat doesn't care if this is really a moth or not. They just care about the feeling, the gratifying feeling of seeing the right size prey, small enough to easily kill, big enough to be rewarding, and chasing it. They're not thinking like, wait, is the human controlling me? They're thinking, yes, I'm on top. I'm the best cat. That's a lot like The cluster B disorders of humanity are animal disorders. When I say animal, I mean it's people who have more primal animal motives. They're not thinking about dynamics, ethics, right or wrong. They're thinking about power along sexual lines. Narcissism is 90% male, borderline personality is 90% female. And they're basically animal motives rooted in biological imperatives of animals. And that's why they surround themselves. You're literally more animal like than a lot of humans. And that's why it's so easy to control you and make an animal world, because you're animals. You're animals in the sense all humans are animals, but your life priorities are closer to a cat than a lot of people. You're not where you are because you're talented. You're where you are because you're a fucking. You don't mind. Just like cats don't mind if things are dirty and covered in shit, as long as their sense of power in the status is winning. That's a lot like you people. There are a lot of humans not like that, where they're not motivated by like this meaningless, frivolous success and reward. They're like, what's really done? That's a more human quality. Only humans can think past their instincts, past genetic imperative. They deliberately look for people who can't do that, who are closer to like a cat. Like, as long as you can set the illusion they're succeeding, the place can be covered in piss and shit. They will not. In their mind, they're winning and succeeding. That's like narcissistic humans, and that's why they look for narcs. And just know this: when you look at Trump, look in the mirror, because that's your inverted reflection. It's part of your post hoc self justification that, oh, the success and the praise I get from these very important people is because I say good things. It's because I'm a progressive. It's because I care about it. You tell people what you care about when you do that. When you talk about how great you are and how because you're so good, you have all this shit, where you polarize what you get from an external power is how good you are. By definition, if the system is evil, then that means you're evil if you're getting rewards. You're telling people what your real values are. You can talk all day how you care about equity and progressive values, but you're telling people what you really care about in that. The 60s civil rights leaders would hate you. They would know right away you're a Fed and a narc. They would know you're very, very stupid if you think the CIA is different than it was back then, when you can see with your own eyes everything they're doing is to kill and oppress humans. And by definition, victims of slavery will suffer the most because they had the least oppression from decade and decade and decade of wealth inequity, only getting worse since FDR. Since we had FDR, we moved towards a liberal state, a real liberal state. And ever since the USSR fell, their number one job has been to destroy everything that happened since FDR. Unless you're aware of that and you're fighting them, in which case you're not going to get cookies and rewards in a nice cushy journal that they promote, you are an enemy of them. Know this. You can't get external validation and praise in an evil system that's designed to kill everything since FDR, because there's no communist threat. And by definition, minorities will suffer the most because they have the least. Because that's how that works in this country. If you have no social safety net and no help up, people with the least will continue to get the least. You're so fucking stupid they can trick you with the same crusty CIA plot to make progressives look violent and crazy and have criminals join it. And you call it and you believe it's equity rather than sabotage. You're a fucking nitwit. And all narcissists are nitwits, just like a cat's a nitwit. A cat may be smarter than a dog, independently without human help, but they're no match for a human. And narcissists are more animal-like humans, and so by definition, they are always nitwits when in the context of a superior power with a goal. Led around by the nose, and you'll never see the parent behind the blanket in peekaboo, because you just keep getting the pats on the head, and they'll make the illusion that you're in control and you're powerful in making these decisions, and it's so easy to control and fool you. And that's why they look for narcissists. It doesn't have to be that all our celebrities, influencers, and journalists are narcissists. It's that way because of the intelligence agency knowing these people are so easy to control. Just know that.